Well, happy Wednesday. It's been cloudy off and on here all week. We're waiting for some nice weather, hopefully, for the weekend. Tonight we're gonna make a summer minestrone with butternut squash and corn. So on the stove, I have 2 tablespoons of olive oil heating up on medium heat. In here, I have 1 cup of sliced leeks. With a leek, remember when you cut them down the middle, make sure you wash each individual leaf because they tend to get dirt. And then I have a cup of chopped bell pepper. You can use whatever color you like. I have an orange one, so I use that. And I also have 1 cup of chopped celery. I'm gonna put that into the oil. And then I'm gonna add a teaspoon of salt with that. We're gonna give it a stir. We're gonna put the cover on it and we're gonna cook it for 6 to 8 minutes until the vegetables start to soften. Okay, as you can see, it's been 6 minutes. Everything's starting to wilt down. We're gonna keep the cover off now and we're gonna let it cook for another 5 to 6 minutes so that the leeks get brown. As you can see, the leeks are becoming brown, and I'm going to put in 4 cloves of diced garlic. I'm going to put in 2 teaspoons of sage. I'm going to put in 1/2 teaspoon of dried Italian seasoning. And 1 bay leaf. Remember to take the bay leaf out at the end so nobody chokes on it. Cook that for 30 seconds. Now we're going to add 8 cups of water. And I use the jarred tomatoes, but put in 15 ounces of diced tomatoes. And give that a stir. You're going to bring that to a boil. And you're going to let that, you're going to reduce it to low and let it boil for, simmer for 20 minutes. So turn it to low and simmer for 20 minutes once it's come to a boil. Okay, now we're going to add our 2 cups of butternut squash that's been diced. We're going to give that a stir. At this point, I'm going to add some fresh black pepper, probably about 1/2 teaspoon. I didn't add any more salt. If you need it, add it at the end. I don't like to over salt it. So we're going to let that come to a boil, turn it down, and then you're going to let that cook for another 10 minutes. Okay, so we've cooked the squash for 10 minutes. We're going to add 2 cups of corn, 1 cup of fresh green beans that I've taken the ends off of and put on there. And then we're going to add, it calls for white beans, but I'm using a pinto bean instead, because I tend to like the pinto bean. And then we're going to add a teaspoon of balsamic. We're going to let that simmer for another 10 minutes, stirring it occasionally. So we're going to give it a stir now, and then in between now, like probably 5 minutes, give it another stir. Okay, the soup is done. I'm taking out the bay leaf, like I always tell you to do. And then I'm going to put some into a bowl so you can see what it looks like. It looks amazing. And like I said, with all the fresh things coming into season, except for the butternut squash, you've got your green beans and you've got your corn will begin to season down south and stuff like that. But here's the recipe. See you on Saturday. Have a good night.